So, good morning and welcome to the session on PMI-ACP Agile Certified Practitioner. Even before we get started, here is my quick introduction. That is my name. This is my education. These are the list of professional certifications which I possess, right? And this is my profession. As a profession, I'm a data scientist, right? And I do a lot of research in analytics space. Data scientist, building prediction models, forecasting models, doing a lot of data mining and a lot of data visualization around Tableau and things like that. And this is my passion. I play a lot of cricket. I represented Hyderabad Cricket Association way back in 2000, and bodybuilding is another passion of mine. So that is in short about my boring profile. Now let us move on with the session. This as of
Kumar, can
yesterday.
you
Yeah,
Kumar, can you just go back?
all right.
Yeah, is there any difference like PMI, ACP, and Agile Project Manager? It's like practical or any another certificate?
Now, this is a different topic altogether. Agile Project
Okay.
Management Foundation and Practitioner covers DSDM, Dynamic System Development Methodology, Atern.
Okay.
We can
Okay.
think about that as, half agile.
Okay.
For organizations which are completely following your traditional project management methodologies, right? For them, if they were to switch to agile completely at one go, they might not be willing to do that.
Okay.
Instead, if they want a middle layer to just try agile for a few days, based on that take a call, then I would say DSDM Atern would be a good bet, because DSDM Atern has a lot of waterfall concepts also within that. So probably organizations which are moving towards agile methodologies can move to DSDM Atern, which is kind of hybrid agile, see whether agile is working for them or not, or get the buy-in of the various stakeholders, and later on move to your Scrum or Extreme programming, which is completely agile, very lightweight. So that's the difference. So this is from APMG. The certification is from APMG, Foundation and Practitioner. And if you're catering to clients who are in European region, who are in UK, then I would say go with DSDM Atern. If you're catering with clients who are in US majorly, right, then PMI has its own advantage over there. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, fine.
Let us move on and discuss more about PMI ACP. This is the count of number of jobs which we have here as of yesterday. I've searched Naukri yesterday just for your own benefit on how many opportunities are awaiting us, right? 4,205 jobs in Agile methodology. If you type Agile methodology, this is the count which has come up, which means that there is a lot of demand for Agile, and the demand for Agile is only increasing. All right, so let us do this quick check on your Google Trends. Let me show you how the trends for ACP is moving. Bear with me while I open that. PMI ACP. You can do this, right? You can do this always. And I've muted you guys from my end. Sorry for that. In 2011, sometime in September, PMI ACP was launched. Since then, it has seen a rapid increase, right? And let us forecast and see how the demand is going to increase. It's only going to increase further. This goes to say that your clients are becoming more and more focused on agile methodologies. Let us compare this against, or let me replace this with PMP certification. Let us see what is happening there. Did you see that? After 2011, there has been a steady decline in PMP, right? PMP has its own niche in the market. It did not decline rapidly, it's rather staying constant there. Why is that happening? Because Agile is taking over nowadays. Everyone wants to be Agile, and the trend would slightly decline moving forward. That is a difference. Yeah, you need to know all these things. All right. So that is Agile all about. So that is a kind of demand that we are looking at. Let us move on and understand more. We need to know what is the exam eligibility. How would the exam pattern be? What are the prerequisites? Right? How is the content for the exam distributed? What are the tools and techniques? What are the domains and tasks for Agile certification? Let us move on and look into exam eligibility. I'm assuming that you both fall into category 1. If yes, and if you have a bachelor's degree, you need to have 21 contact hours from an REP, and you would be getting one from ExcelR at the end of this session. You need to have general project management experience of 2000 hours, and PMP certified professionals are exempt from this. If you are a PMP certified professional, you qualify for this 2000 hours. You automatically qualify yourself for this. If not, you need to showcase 2000 hours of project management experience separately. In addition to that, you also need to have Agile project management experience, which will be for 1500 hours over the last 2 years. So if you say that I have worked in Agile, but that was way back in 2005, then that experience doesn't count. The recent 2 years, for the last 2 years, you should have accrued 1500 hours of experience in Agile project management experience. All right. So these are the three prerequisites, right? Three different sections of our prerequisite for appearing for the exam. Let us move on. Now we know the exam eligibility criteria. Let us understand the exam pattern once. You would be having 120 questions. Exam would be for 3 hours. And you would be tested on these things, right? 50% of the questions would be on Agile tools and techniques. Another 50% of the questions would be on Agile knowledge and skills. Now, there would be a lot of overlap between these two parts. You cannot clearly draw a line and say, hey, Agile tools and techniques falls into that category, Agile knowledge and skills falls into this category. You cannot do that. You cannot draw a clear demarcation and say these two are completely different. There will be a lot of overlap. So the techniques which we might learn in Agile tools and techniques, few of them might hold good for your Agile knowledge and skills also. All right. This is how your exam content distribution would be, right? Agile tools and techniques, 50%, Agile knowledge and skills, another 50%. And within knowledge and skills, it's divided into three more levels, level 1, level 2, and level 3, right? 33% of the questions would come from level 1 because that's a bigger topic. There's no underlying logic to that. 12% would be from level 2 and 5% from level 3. So we have ensured that this program includes all these things. Okay, this is how your agile tools and techniques are divided. We'll be discussing about all these things, about agile communications, adaptive planning, how estimations happen in agile, product quality, soft skills negotiation, how do we prioritize the requirements based on value and risk, what are the metrics which we are going to monitor as part of your agile projects, and what is value stream mapping or analysis. We'll discuss all that. These are the broad domains, and post July, right? I think there is another domain which got added. There's not a major change though. So we'll discuss about all these things. So what they have done is they have taken various topics and they have added that to different domains. Right? Each domain has these questions. Related topics. PMI has, added related topics, grouped them together, and they given a name called domain 1, domain 2, and things like that. We'll discuss about all that. This diagram here is going to be the crux of our discussion. We will spend significant amount of time here and then we will move on. This is the Scrum Framework. So within PMI ACP, we need to discuss more about Scrum, extreme programming and its principles, Lean and its principles, and then Kanban. These are the various things which you need to know. So what is the advantage of PMI ACP over CSM, Certified Scrum Master? I'll be very vocal, though this session is getting recorded. I'll be very vocal in saying that your CSM, Certified Scrum Master, training would be for 2 days. At the end of 2 days, you would be eligible to take the exam. Your exam would last for 6 months. In 6 months, you'll be given an opportunity to answer 35 multiple choice questions. 6 months, what does that mean? I start answering or taking this exam today. After answering one question, my wife called me, for example. She asked me to take her to shopping. I can go, take her to the shopping, come back after 8 hours, answer the second question. I'm tired by the time I answer the second question, so I sleep, take a nap. Next day morning, I wake up, I take the third question. In this way, I am given 6 months of time to answer 35 questions. You do a Google search on those questions, you will see direct answers. What is the authenticity of such a weird certification? I've taken that, but it's a weird certification for that case, right? So authenticity, I would not believe in the authenticity of CSM certification. At the end of 2 days, you take 6 months to take the exam, multiple choice. All the questions and answers are available online, right? That is and also one more thing is you learn only about Scrum, and you would hardly and rarely find any organization which implements completely Scrum methodology. They adopt hybrid agile. You need to know various methodologies for the reason being you pick up few good practices from Scrum, few from your extreme programming, few from your lean, and you start using few of the Kanban concepts as well. And for this very reason, PMI has an edge. PMI is exposing you to 4 different methodologies. And PMI says, do a mix and match and try to use those principles, those concepts which suit you very well. All right. Now, let us understand this. First of all, requirements should be gathered somewhere in order to me to perform a piece of work. Who gathers the requirements in agile projects? It's not the team. It's not the performing organization, right? It's not the project manager. Then it's not the functional resources. Then who gathers the requirements? Customer himself gathers the requirements and gives to you in agile projects. But customer meaning, say there is a customer sitting in US, he has 1,000 employees working in his organization, his or her organization, right? Now, can all 1,000 people start collecting requirements? No. there would be one representative, single point of contact, who would be representing the client organization, and that person is called as product owner. Product owner is a person who knows client environment like the back of his hand. He's extremely familiar with the client organization or customers, right? And he's one among those, right? And what he does is he has a lot of domain experience also. So he starts collecting requirements from his executives, from his own team there, from all the various department stakeholders, from the end users and customers also. For example, say we are building an application for Apple. Now, he's representing Apple, right? He's an employee in Apple, by the way, product owner. He's an employee in Apple, most often than not. He has a lot of domain experience and things like that. He not just collects the requirements from the executives, team members, and stakeholders, but he also reaches out to the iPhone users to collect the requirements, right? So he's looking into the end users also to collect the requirements. In few rare scenarios, customer says, hey, do you know what? I cannot send any one single person for and name him as single point of contact for you guys for reaching out for clarifications on requirements. So can you also help me fill that role? Client might client might come back to you and say there is no one person who has thorough domain knowledge. So you as a service provider, can you help me with someone who can fill in this role? Under such rare cases, right, there can be one from your performing organization who can perform this role of product owner. But he should be a domain expert. He should be having thorough knowledge about the product or the solution being built. He should be closely liaising with the client organization. But that rarely happens, okay? But that also is a possibility. Now we have this product owner. He collects all the requirements. Once he collects all the requirements, where does he document those requirements? He documents the requirements in a document which is called as product backlog. Think about this as a requirements traceability matrix, right? Where you place all your requirements or requirements documentation. Product backlog contains the list of requirements. Now these requirements are also called as user stories or features. I'm giving just a different name, that's it. You can call me Kumar or you can call me Bharani or you can call me Bharani Kumar, all mean the same. Right? So I'm just giving a different name here. This is requirements documentation or document or requirements traceability matrix. In Agile, we call this as product backlog. That is the only difference. Now, another difference here is that all the requirements are user stories. From now on, we'll call these as user stories. Okay. Requirements are user stories. In this product backlog, another thing happens. What is that another thing? The user stories here are prioritized based on the value which each requirement is going to deliver you. Say I have iPhone. How many features does iPhone have? Say iPhone has hundreds of features. Let me ask you this question to you folks. How many features do your mobile phones have? Hundreds of features, right? How many features do you actually use?
Very few.
Very few. Hardly we use incoming feature, to answer the calls. And if it is our spouse, our wife, we do not even answer that call, right? And we use outgoing features. We use text messages. Probably we take a photo snap. And if you're good on mobile applications, maybe WhatsApp and things like that. Other than that, we do not use most of the other features. What does this mean? This means that my outgoing feature, incoming feature function, text SMS feature, taking a photo snap, recording a video, using WhatsApp. Other than these features, rest of the features are not that important for us. So if I were to prioritize the user stories or requirements or features, I would probably prioritize and say that, hey, outgoing and incoming features are the most important for me, followed by text SMS, followed by taking photo snaps, followed by taking videos, right? And followed by WhatsApp application, and the rest of the things would follow. And if I just complete outgoing, incoming, and text feature, I can release the product in the market. And later on, I can look into pictures, videos, and all that, and I can release that as a additional release item there, right? And then I can probably give you another application in my next operating system upgrade, WhatsApp feature, things like that. So product backlog is prioritized in this way based on the value which each feature is going to deliver. Highest value features go to the top. All right, you're saying that we need to prioritize the product backlog, but who prioritizes that? It's the product owner. He's the customer representative. He talks with his team, comes up with a solution, conclusion that, not solution, conclusion that outgoing feature should be given highest weightage, followed by incoming feature, followed by text features, right? Say there is one feature here which is called as WhatsApp feature. This also has value, right? Not extremely high value, but it has high value, assume. But there is also high risk associated with this. And the high risk is that the operating system which you are working upon might not be able to accommodate a WhatsApp feature. Though it has high value, it also has a high risk associated with that. Now, if you have high risk associated, it automatically gets prioritized to the first position once again. What am I saying here? I'm saying that you should not evaluate the requirements or user stories or features only based on value, but you also need to look into the risk associated with that. You might say this, hey, why would I pick up high risk requirements and try to fail early there? Failing early is a feature of Agile. Rather than fail late and lose a lot of money, fail early and lose early. That's okay. Terminate the project early. You'll save billions of dollars. You'll save a lot of time, right? If you fail early. Hence, high risks, my bad. Hence, high risk and high value features or user stories get to the top. This is how you prioritize. I prioritize, our product owner prioritizes the product backlog, not just based on the value which user stories deliver, but also based on the risk associated. So from exam perspective, remember that. High value, high risk stories stay at the top, right? And low value, high risk. Low value, high risk would be at the bottom. Just remember that. We will discuss about this in prioritization also. Okay. So once product owner, prioritizes the requirements or user stories or features, product backlog is now called as prioritized product backlog. So you have prioritized it. And once you prioritize it, your development team, right? Your development team is going to pick up the first few prioritized requirements or user stories or features, and then they try to accomplish that. These user stories are written with business perspective, from end user perspective, from the customer's perspective, right? These user stories are written. So it has a business flavor within that. However, when the team picks up the top few user stories to accomplish now, right? They break down these user stories into tasks, engineering tasks. Hey, in order to come up with outgoing functionality, I need to do these engineering tasks, right? I need some signal processing, checking, things like that. All these engineering tasks would be part of your sprint backlog. Sprint backlog. Who is the owner of sprint backlog? Team. Who is the owner of product backlog? Product owner. Who prioritizes the product backlog? Product owner. Who picks up the prioritized requirements for the sprint? Team. Team picks up the requirements or user stories from the product backlog. Does the team pick up any requirement of their choice? No. It picks up the top few prioritized user stories. Since you're giving team the opportunity to pick up how many requirements they wish to, they would be committed to deliver these requirements. There would be a lot of commitment from the team because team themselves is picking the job, picking the work, which has to be accomplished, right? Based on their capabilities. Those user stories are broken down or decomposed to the task level, and they are placed in something called as sprint backlog. All right. Now, who allocates the work? Say there are 10 tasks within sprint backlog, right? You picked up 3 user stories, you have broken them into 10 engineering tasks in your sprint backlog, right? Who allocates the work to them? Any guesses from your end, Suresh or Ravi? You can chat with me. Who allocates the work? What do you think? Who allocates the work to the team? You know, this work of sprint backlog, the engineering tasks. Will there be a project manager, or will the agile coach or scrum master allocate the work to the team here?
I think Scrum Master.
No, that's the difference here. That's the sea change when it comes to agile projects. It's the team which is self-organizing. It's the team which allocates the work among themselves. It's the team which decides on what are the strengths and weaknesses, right? And the team allocates. There is no role for a project manager, right? In fact, in Scrum projects, you do not even have a role called project manager, right? You have a role called Scrum Master within Scrum, but your Scrum Master does not allocate the work. That is not his job at all. So the team themselves sit down, analyze and think that, hey, you're good at the technical stuff. Hey, you're good at the testing. Hey, you are extremely good at, coordinating and doing things like that. So they divide the work among themselves, right? No one is there here to allocate. Picking up the requirements or topmost user stories from product backlog, also team does that. No one is going to say, hey, why are you picking only top 3? Why don't you pick up top 5? No, right? No, that doesn't happen in agile projects. Team picks up. Team says, hey, based on my capability, I believe I can complete only 3 user stories. So I pick those. I decompose those, put them in the sprint backlog in the form of engineering tasks. And then we sit down all together. We think about what requirements or what user stories or what tasks, right? What tasks should each person accomplish? Now,